what happens in Asia matters for Europe, and what happens in Europe matters for Asia. And that demonstrates that security is not regional, security is global. And that is demonstrated by the ongoing war in Ukraine, which has global ramifications. And we are extremely grateful for your strong support to Ukraine, your economic support, and also the fact that you visited Kiev some months ago. We are, of course, also concerned about China's heavy military build-up, the modernization and the expansion of its nuclear forces. And we are, of course, following very closely and condemning the nuclear and missiles programs of North Korea, violating international norms and multiple UN Security Council resolutions. And we saw the latest missile launch by North Korea, once again reminding us of the nuclear and missile programs which are in violation of international law. So we strongly appreciate the fact that you are here participating in the NATO summit. We look forward to deepening further the cooperation and to have the meeting later on today with the Indo-Pacific partners. So once again, Prime Minister, welcome to NATO.
はい、まずストルテンベルグ事務総長、歓迎の言葉ありがとうございます。こうして再会できますことを大変嬉しく思っています。
Well, Mr. Secretary General, thank you for your warm words of welcome, and I'm delighted to see you again.
現下のこの厳しい安全保障環境の中にあって、欧州とインド太平洋のこの安全保障は不可分です。そして日本と NATO は世界のどこであっても力による一方的な現状変更を許さない、法の支配に基づく自由で開かれた国際秩序を維持していくことの重要性について認識を共有しています。このように基本的な価値あるいは戦略的利益を共有する日本と NATO はその絆を深めています。
In the current severe international security environment, the security of Europe and the Indo-Pacific are inseparable. Japan and NATO share the understanding that unilateral attempts to change the status quo by force or coercion will not be tolerated regardless of where in the world, and on the importance of maintaining and strengthening a free and open international order based on the rule of law. It follows that Japan and NATO, which share fundamental values and strategic interests, should further deepen our ties.
そしてこの度日本と NATO との間において協力に関する新たな計画が合意に至ったこと、これを歓迎いたします。伝統的な分野に加えてサイバーですとか新興破壊技術、情報操作への対応を含む戦略的コミュニケーションと新たな安全保障分野においても絆を協力を進めていきたいと思っています。
And this time, I welcome our recent agreement on a new program for NATO-Japan cooperation. In addition to traditional areas, we will cooperate in new security areas such as cyber, emerging and disruptive technologies, and strategic communications, including countering information manipulation.
本日の会談におきましては、インド太平洋についても事務総長としっかり議論を行い、インド太平洋への関心と関与を高める NATO との連携、これ一層進化していきたいと思っています。
In today's meeting, I look forward to having substantive discussions with the Secretary General on the Indo-Pacific, and I hope to further deepen our cooperation with NATO, which is increasing its interest and engagement in the Indo-Pacific.
改めてストルテンベルグ事務総長のこのご招待に感謝申し上げます。
And once again, Mr. Secretary General, thank you for your kind invitation.
Thank you. Welcome again. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay.
Good morning, Prime Minister. Can there be unity in NATO, sir? Good morning.
We don't see that, but of course the question is, there's a lot of frustration that the war is going on and everybody wants to have peace, but what we are talking about is sustainable peace, and sustainable peace has few elements, and one of those is accountability, for example, whether the Russians are held accountable for the crimes committed, and there are other elements in the peace plan as well. So we can talk about peace then, and when there is peace, of course, we can also continue with the membership of NATO of Ukraine.
Those security guarantees that Ukraine is apparently getting today, do you trust them, considering that they already have a Budapest memorandum?
In the Budapest memorandum, and there were security assurances, and Russia was also part of them, so they were not keeping their promises. Now it is the bilateral agreements that Ukraine has with different countries, so that we are giving them military aid to help them to defend themselves, and this is what we actually do. So writing this down gives them, assurance that when the change in leadership comes in some countries, because we have elections, then it doesn't change the obligation of a country to support Ukraine. I think this is actually very important, because the difference between Russia and democratic countries is that the Western countries keep their promises. And I think that is also very important regarding yesterday's decision, is that all the allies want to be behind those words, so that these are not only words but also deeds to take Ukraine into NATO. So that's why all the words were looked into so deeply and with so much detail.
Belarus, which is bad, not about Lukashenko, which is bad guy.
네, 작년 나토 정상회의에 이어서 올해 다시 우리 AP4가 이렇게 모였습니다. 오늘 아침에 이러한 글로벌 안보를 논의하는 이 시기에 북한이 또 Icbm을 발사했습니다. 일본 북쪽 아오모리 해상에 낙탄이 되었습니다. 대서양의 안보와 태평양의 안보가 결코 분리될 수 없다는 것을 다시 한번 보여주고 있습니다. 우리 AP4는 나토와 연대해서 강력한 집단 안보 태세를 확립해야 된다고 생각합니다. 이를 계기로 해서 나토와 협력의 틀을 제도화하고 우리 인태 지역에서 AP4가 지역 안보의 주도적 역할을 할 것입니다. 감사합니다.
はい、本日、4カ国首脳でこうして会談ができますこと、AP4 で、この会議が開催されますことを大変嬉しく思っています。そして12日、北朝鮮の Icbm 級弾道ミサイルのこの発射がありました。これは国際社会の平和と安定を脅かすものであり、強く非難をいたします。ぜひ4カ国の間でも連携しながら対応していきたいと考えています。以上です。
I'm very pleased to be here at the second meeting of the Indo-Pacific Four on the sidelines of the NATO summit. And Australia is here because we understand that in today's interconnected and globalised world, what occurs in NATO countries also has an impact on the Indo-Pacific. And we're reminded of the interconnectedness around the world with the once again egregious launch of an Icbm by North Korea overnight. Australia condemns North Korea for once again breaching UN rules and by breaching the international rule of law, and with once again a provocative action. And we stand particularly with our friends in South Korea at this time. This NATO summit comes, unfortunately, with the land war in Ukraine continuing. Russia's illegal and immoral invasion continues to have a devastating impact on the people of Ukraine, but it also has an impact on the economies around the world, with higher inflation, with cost of living pressures, and with food security becoming an issue as well. It is a reminder of why we need to be engaged and to shape the future rather than allow it to shape us. And that is why Australia is here, and we're very pleased to have formed such a strong personal relationship with the leadership of Japan, South Korea and New Zealand, and we look forward to a very constructive engagement here this morning.
Good morning. Can I echo the comments of the speakers who have spoken before me, particularly my Australian counterpart, Prime Minister Albanese. We gather at a very challenging time for the world. Not far from where we stand today, there is a great battle raging that is a battle that's far more than just two countries at war. It is a set of values that are also in conflict. We stand firmly with the people of Ukraine because the battle that they are waging is a battle on behalf of values that are held dear to the people of New Zealand as well. We believe in an international rules-based system, and we believe in democracy, and we believe that those things are currently under attack, and that the world should continue to rally to support that. That's why we're here at the NATO summit, because we believe all nations that are committed to these values have a role to play in supporting Ukraine and supporting other countries who are also under threat. We look forward to the opportunities to have a wide range of discussions here at the NATO summit, and particularly with the Indo-Pacific Four, who we have a good, solid, warm working relationship with.